guys, it's Jacqueline from ABetrLife, and today I wanted to talk to you guys or show you a ball tool. So since we're stuck, or most of us are stuck at home a whole lot more than we used to be, and we're not able to go out and get massaged like we used to be, we're building up a lot of tension and tightness in our muscles. And especially, a lot of us hold our tension along the muscles on either side of our spine, in our paraspinal muscles. So this is a tool that you can use, and it will help with all that pain. It will kind of loosen things up. It's something you can do every day if you'd like to. It's just a good tool to have in your toolbox. This one is one that already is preformed, and it is just solid rubber, and I got it on Amazon. You can find all different kinds of companies who do it. It's not very expensive, and if you are wanting to, you can make one yourself. You can take 2 tennis balls or solid rubber dog balls like the Kong balls, and you put them into a stocking, a sock, or in this case like a mesh bag, and then you can tie it off so that these guys stay together, and they're going to be in like a similar shape as this one, okay? And you could also take duct tape and tape them together so that they're put together. So either way works, that as long as they are kind of staying in as one unit. If you're really industrious, you can make one that has more flexibility. You can get solid rubber dog balls, like Kong balls, and what you do is you drill a hole in both of them, not all the way through, although this one, one side has to go all the way through, but the other one does not. And then you get a really, really long screw, and you put the screw in, so now you're able to kind of change the distance of the balls. So now if you are wider, or you have an area that's a little farther out than these guys would get, this is a good guy to have. The nice thing about this one over this one is that you can separate them, right? But it keeps everything in this perfectly good alignment because of the screw. Whereas this one, you can separate them, but they'll move around a lot. So you're not able to get the alignment the same way. This one, a little bit more work, but it has that flexibility. But this one will work fine for our purposes today. So the idea is to have this only on soft tissue. So no bony tissue. So what you're going to do is we're going to work on those paraspinals on either side of our spine. And our spine is going to end up in this groove so that it's protected. And the balls themselves are going to be on the soft tissue on either side of the spine. So you're going to lie down, and it's best to do this on a floor, a carpeted floor, or on a mat like this, because you want to have that hardness to have it push up into your tissue. If you did it on a bed, it would be too soft and would squish down, and it wouldn't work as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it behind me where my spine is in between, in that groove, and either ball is on either side of my spine. And I tend to like to start around my shoulder blades because there's usually a really good tense spot for most people there. And so it's just a good place to start. And so I'm going to have the balls in between my shoulder blades and my spine, right in that soft tissue in between. And I keep my legs up just to kind of soften and straighten my lower back so it's not as arched. It's just more comfortable. And you'll see in a minute why it's also beneficial to have your legs up. So you can sit there for a moment. You can open up your arms. And when you open up your arms like this, as you're laying there, it's opening up your pec muscles, which helps take the strain off of your neck and your shoulders, which can help with that. And it also opens up your breathing and helps open up the diaphragm. So it feels really, really good. It just helps for breathing. It helps your neck and shoulders, and it's very, very beneficial in many different ways. So stay there for about 30 seconds. I wouldn't stay there more than a couple of minutes. And then what you can do is you lift up your hips, and now I can roll and get most of my back. I'm not getting my neck, I'm not getting my sacrum, but I'm really getting the length of most of my back. And it feels really, really good. And what you'll find is that there'll be a spot or two that you come across that's got a lot more tension than the rest. And so you can stay in that spot, and you can just do little micro movements like this. And then you can move on. And you can roll. And maybe find another spot a little higher up. You can kind of move like this a little bit, and then get farther up. So, what you'll find, some people will find anyways, is this can be pretty intense. So, if this is too intense for you, first of all, these guys, the tennis balls, are a little softer, so they won't be quite as intense. The other thing you can do to help is you can take a towel or a blanket, and if you put it over the balls, now you have a little more cushioning, and so it's not going to be quite as intense. You can also do this on a wall, so you're not going to have as much pressure, and that way it's less intense as well, but you have to do more work. So the beauty of this on the ground is that you're letting gravity work for you, and then the gravity is going to just push you down into the balls, as well as the balls are going up into your tissue, which is going to cause a really good compression. And on the wall, you have to work harder, and you're not going to get the same compression. But it will help if this is too much for you. So another thing that you can do is take a single ball, a single tennis ball, or you could use one of these Kong balls, either way. And you're going to do the same kind of thing in your glute. So a lot of people have low back pain or hip pain, will have very, very tight glutes. And so using a single ball, you can do the same kind of thing as we were doing on either side of our spine. The same idea of having it in soft tissue, not bony tissue. So imagine this is your pelvis, okay? And this is right here is your tailbone, okay? And you have that pelvic bone, okay? You have this pelvic bone. You're going to want to put it in the soft tissue in the center, and make sure that you don't put it anywhere on that pelvic bone, okay? And there'll be a couple of really, really good spots that you'll probably want to move around from one to the other as you're working your glutes. And if you have more tension on one side than the other, you still want to do the other side so that you balance out your pelvis and you don't have too much going on one side than the other, okay? So in the same way, you're going to lie down, and I'm just going to roll over, and now I'm going to put this in my soft tissue somewhere in my glute, and I'm going to just let my leg open up and relax. If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can take a pillow or a cushion from the couch or some blankets stacked up to be able to lift up your leg. The point is that you really want to let go and not put any tension in this leg. It just needs to be able to release. So however high you have to have it for that to work is where you need to put it, okay? So you can stay there for a moment, just like we did with the two balls underneath. And then at some point, you're going to start to move your leg. And now what I'm doing is I'm working it. So the ball is up in the tissue, okay? And it's pinning that muscle. And now as I'm moving my leg and doing circumductions and back and forth, I am stretching it out because I am working that muscle as it's being pinned. and that will stretch out that tissue. And so it will release the tissue and make the tissue longer, which is really, really good. So you might want to change and do somewhere else and kind of have a couple of different positions. You can play around with it. But just make sure, like I said, that you do both sides, even if there's only one side that's really bothering you. So I hope that this helps. And if nothing else, it's a great tool to have in your toolbox that is something you can do for yourself on a regular basis to help with your tension. So take care, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.